I heard that USA Swimming finally got a Snapchat.
Yes.
True?
True.
I'm going to be the first one to Snapchat on it, and I have it right here. So we're all going to take a selfie. Oh, now my mic's on. Hello.
You get everyone?
This works. You have to get in it.
I have to get in it?
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't want it to just be me. Don't fall either. You're not in it at all.
I am. I'm in there a little bit.
Not at all.
It's not about me.
There it is. Okay.
So other than rock climbing, what are you doing in town?
So I've been on a very long break since Rio, and I figured it was time to get back in the water. So I'm here up training with Bluefish. I live back up in Rhode Island now, so I'm here training with my club coach Chuck and a bunch of high schoolers, which is actually super fun because they're very enthusiastic about everything, and I don't get beat by a lot of people, so I don't feel that bad about myself right now. But yeah, it's awesome to be here. I'm excited.
Well, we're glad you're here, and you're one of the most active on social media of all of our professional athletes, so it's really appropriate that we get a chance to spend some time with you here today. But before we get into social media, just two quick questions on Rio. You were a team captain there, your third Olympics, and that's fantastic. What made the team camaraderie that everyone has talked about so special in Rio compared to maybe Beijing and London?
I'm not so sure there was ever one pivotal moment that we became a team, but I think just being at the Olympics itself can make any group of people become one unit and be cohesive with each other. And I think it was awesome. Like, we would be sitting in the stands and we would have Ricky Fowler and Bubba Watson sitting with us. Like, no joke, like they were our biggest fans. And we had all of the basketball players sit with us for a session, and they are so rowdy. But it's awesome because it's the one time that swimming is a super big deal. And you can tell because you have famous people like Ricky Fowler and Bubba Watson sitting with us and wanting to get to know us. And I sat next to Matthew McConaughey for an entire session. It was so cool. And I met his wife, Camilla. And he was like just a normal person there enjoying the swimming. So I think that definitely helped because people like love us. And we swam really well, which also helped. But yeah, it's just being on the Olympic team is like the coolest thing ever.
All right, so pick out one favorite Rio moment other than watching a full session next to Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, that was good. I think, so for me, the entire meet, when I think of Rio, I don't think of like myself swimming. I think of being in the stands and cheering for everybody. And one moment that got to me when Caleb was on the relay and he won his first medal, I don't know what came over me. And I'm not a crier at all, but I just started bawling my eyes out. And there were a ton of pictures on social media of it. So that's one moment that really sticks out to me. And another one would be Leslie Jones. I'm name dropping. Sorry, guys. She's like the super funny comedian on SNL. And me and Schmitty are actually her Twitter like backsplash page picture. So I'm like low-key famous, which was cool. So
yes,
check it out.
I would give you the handle for that. I don't have it off the top of my head. But
it's like less dog.
Just look at the top part. Don't look at the content of what she posts, though.
Yeah, that's not the important part.
No, not at all, especially with what she posts.
Yeah.
All right, turning the page here. Today's generation, when I grew up, we used to get autographs from athletes. Nowadays, what's the landscape like with the younger generation? Is it autograph? Is it selfie? Is it something else? When you're doing a clinic or an appearance, what are you sensing from the younger audience?
So one thing that I've been very fortunate to do, I do a lot of clinics around the entire country. I was just in Texas 2 days ago doing a clinic, and what I've sort of noticed, they don't care really about the medals that I bring. All they want is to be my Snapchat friend and for me to follow them back on social media. I can't tell you, and because I don't say no, but I will just give these kids my phone and they will follow themselves on my account. On Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, whatever it is, like that is what they want. Sure, they'll post a selfie of with the medal and stuff, but they want more than anything to have that connection with you. And they do that through social media, and especially Snapchat, because it's just in the moment, and they want to know what Elizabeth Beisel is eating for dinner. You know, like they want to know these things, and so for them to be able to have that opportunity, I mean, I just let them do it on my phone. I don't know half the people that I'm friends with on social media, but it's cool for them because they can relate to me and be like, oh, you know, that's what an Olympian is doing. Maybe that's what I should be doing. So I have to be mindful of what I post, which I am, but I definitely think it's a cool thing for them to have, just to know somebody. So
You talked about your posting, so we always talk about posting with a purpose.
yeah.
So when you're posting on all of your different platforms, how do you sort of employ the post with a purpose mantra?
Yeah. Honestly, everything I post, like a 5-year-old could see or an 80-year-old could see. I'm on public for all my accounts. And I do that because I feel like when I was growing up in the swimming world, and many of you maybe can relate to this, I would have loved to know what Janet Evans was doing or what Caitlin Sandino was doing. But we didn't have that luxury. So now I'm sort of giving to them what I never had, and everything that I post, like if I post something about swimming, it goes like viral. Like people love it. If I post something about like rock climbing, like they're like, oh yeah, that's cool, but that's not you in a swim cap. So I definitely do see a difference between what I post, but I do like to mix it up and let people see, yeah, I am in Colorado Springs training at the Olympic Training Center, but I still do have time to do really fun things. Like, just because you're a swimmer doesn't mean you have to spend 24 hours in a pool. So it's definitely something that you have to tinker with. And I do think I found the happy medium, but it is cool for them to see what I'm doing outside the pool too. So.
All right, up on the screen we got three different samples, one from Snapchat, one from Instagram, and one from Twitter. So which one is your social media platform of choice?
I do love pictures, so Instagram would probably be my favorite. It's more, for me, a once-a-day thing. Snapchat is multiple snaps in a day. Twitter is more once a day, maybe up to 5 times. But for me, like when I'm scrolling through social media, and you club teams can use this too, like I follow Bluefish Swim Club, and no knock to them, I don't know who runs the social account, but if you're posting on Instagram 8 times a day, I'm probably gonna unfollow you because it's a little annoying and it's just the same picture all the time. When you're posting on social, post with a purpose. Don't just post to post. And I think that's, some people think it's more quality over quantity, but when it comes to social, it's definitely quality over quantity. So yeah.
How do you decide what to post where? So if you have this great picture, you mentioned Instagram, but why would you put something on Snapchat versus Instagram versus Twitter?
Yeah. So at the Olympics, I'll use this as an example. Snapchat I would use for real-time things. Like where we were sitting, we were right above the mix zone. So I could literally look over the railing and Snapchat Michael Phelps doing an interview. That would blow up. That's not something that I would Instagram. Instagram is definitely more personal, things that I'm doing with my life, but Snapchat can be anything from an interview to like them touching the wall and winning a gold medal, or the national anthem happening right then and there. And I mean, my Snapchat blew up during the Olympics because, again, I was in the stands every session. So I was everybody's outlet to see what was going on. And I went from basically like 2,000 views per story up to like 15,000, just because I was in the stands every day, giving people that inside look of what was happening. And for Instagram, it's definitely more like monumental moments, like sentimental things that I would only post, you know, like once. And then Twitter, I'm not as active on Twitter, but I do think with Twitter, if you're doing just text, it's not as good as having a picture with that text. Because I find myself, if I'm on Twitter and I'm scrolling and I see a picture, I'll click on it. But if I don't see a picture, it's like, whatever, like I don't want to read that. So that's another piece of advice that I would pass on, just to, we're all visual these days. We want to see something. So use that visual aspect.
What are some suggestions you can give, you're good, the people in the room about content that younger swimmers would like to see on social media?
When I post sets, videos of me doing dry land, stuff like that, you know, they see the practice that an Olympian is doing. That is what they want to see. Or they see what type of dry land you're doing, what type of core exercises you're doing. Even if you're just running on a treadmill, like snap a pic of it and, okay, I ran 3 miles at this pace. It's just like cool for them to know what you're doing. And And I think that's huge because they want to know what Olympians are doing. They want to be us. And so for us to sort of give them that inside look again is huge.
Cool. What makes a piece of content shareable content that maybe the younger swimmers would then take and say, oh, all right, I see that. That's shareable content from a club something that a club has put out, and then they're going to, in turn, go ahead and share it with their followers?
I think something that is like fun and engaging and something that you would want to do. Like if it's just a generic picture of you at a pool, probably not shareable. But if it's a picture of your team doing swim jitsu or something like that, yeah, I want to do that. Every little kid, I want to do that. I'm 24 years old. Like, share fun things like that. And you know, you obviously do want to balance it out and maybe have the more normal pictures of club team after a practice. But I think if it's something that is fun and it looks like you want to do it, you should definitely share it, and your kids will want to share it. And I mean, the more shares you get, the more views you get, and the more people are drawn to you and your club. And I think that helps a lot.
All right. So I'm going to give you a new title right now. You are now a swim coach or a club owner, just like the people in the room. All right? So now I'm going to give you the keys.
Okay.
What are the 1 or 2 things you're going to do with that social media account now to engage swimmers and to engage parents?
Ooh. I think definitely having a variety of stuff. For me, if I were a coach, I would definitely post pictures of sets that I was doing, dryland activities. I mean, I'm just thinking back to when I was on club at Bluefish. I mean, I'm back there, but back in high school, Chuck would have us do the most wild things. Like, we would run around tracks carrying tires. He's just very eccentric in the way he thinks, and I think had he had a social media platform, he could have shared videos like that. And really, like, if you saw that, you'd be like, wow, like, maybe I want to join that team. That looks like really interesting and cool and different. So I definitely think posting things that are different, that separates you from the rest of the pack. And as parents, I mean, it is always nice to know what your kids are doing. So just your kids having fun. I think that's why we all get into swimming, is just having fun and being around the water. And I was listening to a little bit of the last little segment 20 minutes ago, and taking team trips. I think that's huge. Like, even at Olympics, we went to Atlanta Braves game during camp, and yeah, maybe it's not the most like exciting thing to do, but it's awesome. We got to post pictures, we got to go on the field, stuff like that. Just things that bring you together and make your team look more fun than the team you're competing against. But yeah, I don't know. Did I even answer that right?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, cool.
And the last question, then we'll get the mic runners ready so we can open it up to the crowd here. But why do you carve out time? Why do you like being on social media so much that you will carve out time during your day to scroll and post and participate in social media?
I think it's huge, and whether we like to admit it or not, it has really sort of taken over how the sport is viewed, like how we get ourselves out there. The Olympics obviously helps, but this is the day-to-day stuff that we're going to be drawing in swimmers with. So I think the more we can engage people and get them interested in the sport, you know, the more I'm going to post. And I love pictures and stuff, but like I said earlier, I would have died to be able to have like Janet Evans' Snapchat and just see what she's doing, even if it's just her hanging out with her friends. Just to know what she's doing, it really puts, because I feel like when I was growing up and I saw Olympians like Eric Vent and all of them, they weren't human to me. They were on a pedestal that I would never be able to reach. I would never get to know them in a way. And so I think with social media, we get to become humanized, and these kids realize that they can be us, and that we are just normal people, but we just swim like a little bit faster than them. But they can definitely reach that point, you know, and that's what we are, you know. I mean, maybe like people like Michael Phelps, Kayla Ledecky, they're just freaks. People like me, you know, 5'6", normal girl, like they can be like me. So I think for me to have that opportunity to show kids that they can have fun, they can love the sport, they can still go to the Olympics and still have fun, is huge. And I want to give that back. And you guys can do that with your club teams and just inspire that younger generation and sort of get them going into the swimming world. So.